I just ended my live session on Facebook Live, and now I'm coming over here to Instagram to test out this live. This is my first time doing live. So what I'm here today is to answer any personal finance questions people may have, because I do a lot of memes. By the way, I'm a 48-year-old ex-computer engineer, and I say ex because once I became debt-free, I quit my job. I realized all my time was being taken away from being in debt and working hours and all that other stuff. Once I became debt-free, that was it. Changed my whole world, because debt causes financial blindness and causes a person to be financially blind. And so I'm coming on here today to answer any personal finance questions. So if you're a person that is living paycheck to paycheck, no matter how much money you make, you just can't figure out why, I'm here to answer that question. Any question. I'm here to explain to you that credit is part of the problem. It's a major piece of the problem. If you believe in credit, that's part of the problem. That's a major piece of the problem, actually, because credit is just a belief. It's not credit scores, how they're calculated. If you believe you can't get a car, a house, a phone without credit, that's just a belief. It's no different than it's no different than me saying, "Hey, you know what? I believe 1 + 1 = 3." Now, if I said that to anybody on this earth, you know, they're looking at me, "Are you crazy? I don't care what you believe. 1 + 1 = 2. There's no different than credit. Because when you think about it, what you're actually saying, like, for example, when you go finance a car, okay, what you're actually saying is this: I'm willing to pay more for that car than what it's worth by making payments to it, to you or to the bank or to whatever, right? That's what you're actually saying. So not only, like, when you pick up the car from the car lot, oh, I'm sorry, let me read this. I want to get rental properties. How should I go? This is what you should do, all right? Thank you for the question. This is what you first, before you invest in anything outside of yourself, invest in yourself before you invest in anything outside yourself. Because if you've always been in debt, and don't mix your feelings. First of all, don't mix your feelings with your money. Ever do that. Because your feelings, be like the banks. Don't ever mix your feelings with your money, ever, because your feeling has nothing to do with it. This is what you should do. First, get your personal finances in order. Get your personal finances in the black. So this is the formula. It's going to sound crazy easy, and it's just 6th grade math, okay? And I'm saying this because I'm mad at myself, because I didn't see it. Now my eyes are wide open. Debt, savings minus debt equals how much money you have to invest outside of yourself. What that means is add up all your debt plus your savings, whatever you have left, that's how much money you have to invest in rental property, stock market, whatever. And if that number is in the negative, you mathematically do not have any money to invest in anything outside of yourself. I promise you that. I'm 100% debt free, and my finances are in the black. I'm 48 years old. I've been debt free for about 5-6 years now. It's totally different. So don't, and right now I see you're saying subpar credit. That's because you believe credit has something to do with it. That's just a belief. It has nothing. For example, let me give you an example. The way I look at housing, like, for example, the housing market prices, they mean absolutely nothing to me. Nothing. I don't care what today's housing prices are. It doesn't matter to me, and I'll explain to you why. The majority of people they have mortgages, okay? And when they have mortgages, that means the banks own those houses, not the people. So they're walking around calling themselves homeowners when mathematically they're not, okay? And so out of 30 years, because most people have 30-year mortgages, out of 30 years, these person cannot have one financial hiccup, like a job loss, death, your spouse dies, probably the main breadwinner, whatever, right? They can't. And if that happens, guess what? You can't pay your mortgage, and guess what? They lose the house. But then again, you got to remember, they never owned it. The bank owns it. I don't know how the bank makes people believe they're homeowners with mortgages, but That's impossible. But anyway, back to my point. When you're debt free, you have cash. And then if you pick the neighborhood that you want and just wait, right? And then when this person has a problem or a financial hiccup, you're there with cash. And guess what? They will take anything these are credit believers. They'll take anything to save their credit, to get out from under the house, and you're there with cash. You're paying what you have in your hand. You say, hey, I'll help you out. This is how much money I have. And they will take it. And that's not market price. That's out of desperate. They need money. And there's more people in debt than not. The mortgage debt is up to $8 trillion. That's a lot of people that believe they're homeowners when they're in fact that they're not. So once you're out of debt, right, you naturally pay off your debt, and your credit's going to naturally get better because you're paying off your debt. But you're going to realize that you don't even need your credit. You just like, when people ask me what my credit score is, I'll go look for them. I'll say, okay, let me go check it out. I'll go get on Credit Karma or something. Oh, it's about 730, 750 or something. I really don't care. And it's frozen. And it doesn't matter. So again, if your finances are not in the black, don't worry about getting into rental properties. Don't worry about it. Yeah, hope that answered your question. And if I was unclear about anything, just please ask again, because sometimes I've been debt free for so long, sometimes I'll skip because I can't remember some of the things I did when I was in debt. And so I might use different wordings or something like that, but I try to keep it as simple as possible because it really is just sixth grade math. It's nothing fancy. So back to what I was saying, I'll give you some different examples of how debt causes people to become financially blind, right? For example, when you financing a car, let's go back to financing a car because that's the most common one. People will prepare themselves to go to a car lot and sit there for 3 hours. 3 hours, okay, to finance one car. Oh, it's choppy? Oh, crap. That's messed up. I'm at home on my Wi-Fi, so I'm not sure if it's me or you. So if there was something that you missed, just I can restate it if you wish. But so say, for example, when you go finance a car, people prepare themselves. First of all, financing a car is one of the worst things to ever do. Okay? Because when you walk on a car lot and you say, I want to finance this car. Oh, okay. Man. Oh, that angers me. Hold on for a second. Let me see. All right. That makes me upset. But thank you for telling me that. I'll figure out something. But financing a car, you walk on a car lot, they're already making profit. And if you walk on a car lot and say, I want to finance a car, they know they have you right there. Why? Because you're agreeing to pay more for this object than what it's worth. But since everybody does it, credit is a belief, by the way. Credit's not real. If you believe in credit, credit's everything. But credit means nothing to me because I'm 100% debt free. And that's not bragging. I'm just giving you from a debt free perspective. Okay. You're already paying more for it than what it's worth. Okay. And when you go on a car lot, people prepare themselves to stay there for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours to finance one car. One car. Now, I'm going to give you a debt-free perspective so you can see what that really is. Now, if you had cash and you walked on that same car lot and let's say like the car was $30,000, okay? And you had the salesman 30 grand and he says, okay, sir, sit down there. It's going to take us 4 hours to bring your car that you want from the back of the car lot to the front of the car lot so you can drive away. Would you actually wait there for 5 hours for him to bring the car lot to the front? For one car? You wouldn't do that. You say, give my money. I'm going down the street. That's only people that finance cars or in debt will accept that because it's designed that way. It's designed to wear you down to where you'll sign anything to sign that car and get out and get out of there. They set up playpens for the kids on the side. You notice that? Do you really want to bring your kids there to play at the car lot dealership? No, it's designed to keep you there. Only people in debt that believe in credit accept that in their lives. Don't do that. Get out of debt. All you got to do is look at the statistics. Eight something trillion dollars in mortgage debt, $1 trillion in car loan debt, trillions in student loan debt. That's a lot of people pretending to have money that they don't have, whether they know it or not, because math doesn't care about your feelings. It's just math. It's just 6th grade math. What I didn't see, I'm showing you guys what I did not see. If I had just applied 6th grade math to my personal finances years ago, I'd be a millionaire with a regular job. With a regular job, I'd have been a millionaire. Easy, with a regular job. It's rare. So, for example, ask 10, 20 of your friends, hey, are you debt free? See how many say yes. See how many even know what that is or believe it even exists. There's so many people that don't even believe that's even possible, even though I'm a regular human being standing right in front of them saying, hey, it's possible. If you apply this to your personal finances, debt plus savings equals your net worth. Or better yet, let's reverse it so you can see it better. Savings minus debt equal your net worth. And if you do that, if you add up all your debt and your finances are in the negative, you stare at that number. You look at it. And at that moment, you think to yourself, feelings wise, does this number scare me? If it doesn't scare you, that's a problem. You should be wondering why I'm not scared. If you carried a student loan longer than 10, 20 years and that doesn't bother you, you should stop and think, why does that not scare me? Because if you had a student loan for that long, it's in the trillions of dollars. You cannot get rid of it. You are literally a slave to the government. They own you. They own you. You cannot bankrupt it. You can't write it off. You can't. Those student loan forgiveness program, those are just slave camps for people that don't believe that they can pay off their student loans. Those are slave camps. And I'll tell you why they're slave camps. You have to, in order to be forgiven, you have to work at the place they tell you to work at the wage they tell you you're going to work at. Now, are you a person that doesn't believe in yourself, that you know you can make way more money than what they tell you're going to make at, that they tell you're going to make? You say, no, I'm going to make the amount of money I know I'm worth to make and pay that off as fast as possible. I kept my student loan for 11 years. I'm afraid to even add up the interest I paid over 11 years. I don't even want to see it. I don't even want to see it, because I'm going to make myself even more mad that I allowed that in my life and allowed myself to be like everybody else, complaining about student loan debt when the only person that could have took care of it is me. I shouldn't have financed cars. I shouldn't have financed houses. I shouldn't have financed phones. I shouldn't have financed clothes. I should have put every single dime into paying off that student loan. If you want this freedom, it's unlike anything else. I'm explaining to you. It's unlike anything else. You will be different than anybody else. If you follow me on Instagram, you see my memes. Some probably don't even make any sense. But if you take your feelings out of it and apply math, it'll make 100% sense. It will. It'll make total sense to you. Does that make, like, for example, when I say to people, if you have a mortgage, you're not a homeowner. You're a loan owner. You don't own that house. And just be real with yourself. And when I say that to people, they get mad. But personally, when I think about it, I think, why are you mad? Am I saying something to offend you? I'm only saying what math says is so. Math says that. Not me personally. Math was here before I was born. I had to be taught math. And math says, oh, okay, if I had to go and borrow the money, that means I didn't have the money. So here, bank, I want this house. You hold the house as collateral until I pay you back, bank. The bank says, oh, okay, cool. But if you don't pay me back, you can't have the house. Okay, cool. And then you sign on the dotted line. That's it. It's being real with yourself. But as I was saying earlier, when you're debt free, Housing market prices will no longer matter to you. Why? Because when you're debt free, you have cash. And when you have cash, you rarely pay full price for anything anymore. Anything. Why? Because people are trillions of dollars in debt. Trillions. They will take anything. So if the housing market, like for example, remember 2000, let me give you a perfect example because I was caught up in the 2008 crash, all right? Now imagine, follow me here. Don't mix your feelings. Take your feelings out. Imagine if you were debt-free with cash back in 2008. You could have got 3 houses for the price of 1 if you had cash and sat on them because you own them. All you got to do is pay taxes. Now, there's going to be people that are in debt. I call it the debt matrix. People that are in debt are going to say, oh, you still got to pay taxes on it. You still really never own it. Don't worry about those people, okay? Because what they're saying, it really is saying, you got to think in your mind, are you really comparing a monthly mortgage to yearly taxes? I'll take that every day, including Sunday, today. and you just sit on it. Because it's going to come around. It's just a big circle. It just happens. When you get out of debt, you can see how this truly works. The economy truly runs on people that do not care about being in debt. That's it. It's that simple. People don't care. I call it I don't know tax. Now, I'm going to say a few things. And if you answer I don't know to any of these questions, you may be in financial trouble. And you should change that from I don't know to no. All right? What type of mortgage do you have? If you answer I don't know, you're in financial trouble. How much debt are you in? What is the exact total of debt you're in? If you answer I don't know, you're paying I don't know tax because it's costing you for not knowing. You don't know. What is the percentage rate on your car loan? Don't know? Don't know? That's I don't know tax. What is the payoff date on your student loan? What day are you paying that off? I don't know. That's I don't know tax. Get out of that. You don't want to be in that. Step over on this side of credit. There's 2 sides to credit. There's the consumer side of credit and there's the business side of credit. Get out of the consumer side. Get out of that. That's a myth. It's not real. Those people that you see claiming they're homeowners and fighting over buying versus leasing a car when the bank owns them all. Be like the banks. Don't be a person saying, oh, the big bad banks, they're doing us wrong and this and that. No, they're not. Stop and think. What is the purpose? What is the business of the banks? To make money. That's their business. You don't have to use them. You don't have to. If I walked into the bank and say like I wanted a loan, I would read over the terms, right? And I read over terms. If I don't like the terms, I say, no, thank you, bank. Keep your money and walk out. They're not making me do anything. I leave. And just leave. You don't need their money. You just believe you need their money. And it's conditioning. I don't hate the banks. I mimic them. I watch their commercials. The funny thing is when a bank commercial comes on TV, guess what I do? I mute the TV so I can see what they're doing to convince people that they need them. See, and you're right, Sean. People don't even know that they're behind on auto pay. How do you not know that? You know what that is? That's a lot of financial stuff going on in their life to where they can't keep up with it. And then you start to, and I'm saying this because I used to be in debt. You start saying, oh man, I got more important things to do. I can't worry about that car payment. People naturally start going to vital things that justify them not paying what they signed for. Oh, my kids need food. I need a roof over my head. And well, think about it. You knew that before you signed up for the car. So it doesn't change. Math doesn't care. Math doesn't have feelings. Math could care less about your feelings. And that's how you got to look at your money. Once you're debt free, money once I became debt free, now I understand money is spoken in 2 languages, debt and debt free. If you've always been in debt, you only speak debt, but you don't understand you only speak debt because that's the only language you know. You only know debt. But once you become debt free, you speak both. And so I naturally hear people that seem like they know about money, but they don't because they've been in debt. So they speak debt. They say, hey man, I can afford this car. I can afford the payment. Well, if you can affording a monthly payment versus paying the car cash are two totally different things. When you can make a payment, that means you're agreeing to pay more for that car than what it's worth. And you can't buy cash because you don't have the money. And I've heard people say things like, oh man, I'm not gonna take all my money and put it down in the car when I can invest it over here. If your finances are in the negative, that's mathematically impossible. You have no other money. If you add up your debt plus your savings and your finances are in the negative, you have no money. So you indirectly, directly, you're borrowing money. And the bank understands this. That was the risk people took. Yeah, that's true. But most people, Sean, when most people sign car loans, they have no idea of the percentage rate. They have no idea. All they're doing is concentrating on that monthly payment. And check this out, right? You walk into, I'm going to walk you through the debt, what I see debt free, through my debt free eyes on the process of financing a car. Okay? Most people walk in, crossing their fingers, hoping they can sign up for their shiny new debt. Crossing their fingers, man, I hope I get that debt. Man, it's got that new car smell. It's got that new debt smell. Let me sign up. So they walk into the car lot. Hey, I want to finance that car. The car lot know they have you. The car lots are looking like football fields. Have you seen a CarMax lately? They're winning. Okay? They're not that big because they're giving great deals. They're winning. Okay? You walk in and you say, hey, I want that car. You're going to finance it? Yeah, we got you. Okay, sit down here. Now, they run your credit. Now, if you checked your credit, all three scores, right? And say like TransUnion was the highest. Say like TransUnion was 730 and the rest were in the 600. Can you walk in the car lot and say, hey, by the way, when you run my credit, make sure you use TransUnion. Can you do that? Have you even thought about doing that? That's why credit is stupid. But anyway, you can't do that. You just crossing your fingers, hey, run my credit. How do you know out of the three scores, they're not using the lowest credit score so they can charge you the highest interest rate? How do you know? You don't know that, do you? I didn't know that. But you know what? My main focus was that thing, that shiny new debt with the new car smell. All right? So also you walk in and you say, hey man, I can only afford $350. And then all of a sudden they go, okay, the car dealer guy, okay, I'm here for you, sir. I'm here for you, okay? And then they go back and talk to this mystery person behind the glass. Who's that? The debt wizard of Oz or somebody? Who's he talking to? Do you ever follow that car person back to see how you know he's not going back and it's his turn to make a chess move on the board back there? You don't know. Then all of a sudden he walks back to you and say, hey man, can you go 360? Didn't I just tell you 350? But you don't say that. You go, ah. Then they go, it's just $10 more. No, it's not. It's way more than that. But in your mind, you believe it's $10. Then you go, okay, let me go 10. Okay, I can do that. And then you're just digging yourself in the hole over this overpriced shiny debt. Okay. And all of a sudden, next thing you know, okay, you come up with a deal, right? You say, great, you got a deal. Then you get done, you sign all this ridiculous paperwork, and you're there all day for one car. You're there for hours for one car. Only people in credit, only people in the debt matrix will accept that. People that manage money well, debt-free, we don't even set foot on a car lot. You know why? Because car lots, they're there to make money. I get it. It's business. I go to people in debt to buy cars. Okay, back to the car lot. When you get approved, or maybe you get approved, you get approved for your shiny new debt. You take pictures with it. Hey, shake the dealership's hand. Hey, look everybody, look at my shiny new debt, right? You get in the car, you start driving around showing your friends your new shiny new debt. You don't really realize it's debt. It's not even yours, it's the bank's. But you're saying it's yours. And then you say, oh man, did you buy it or lease it? People go, oh man, I'm buying this. When neither one even matters, the bank owns both the lease and the finance, so it doesn't matter what you say. But you don't know that. You do not know that. Why? I was in the same position. And then you're driving around, and all of a sudden, the new shiny car smell, car smell starts to wear off. But guess what? You still in the, and you know, people are financing cars for 84 months. That's 7 years for a depreciating object with interest. That's all a car is, a depreciating object with interest. Am I mad at the car lots? No, because it's business. Next thing you know, you can't make the payments. And guess what? The bank is coming to get their property, and they're going to hire a company to come scoop your car up. Now you're hiding it in a garage. Now you're hiding it in places. Oh, they're not going to. Why would you even want to live your life like that? Hiding something that doesn't even belong to you. It never did. Know why? Because you didn't pay cash for it. That's what it really, really is. Don't do that. Don't care what your friends. If your friends roll up on you with a brand new car or whatever, all you got to do. People love talking about their debt. Okay, so all you got to do is this: if they roll up on you in a brand new Escalade and say, "Ooh, man, that's nice, man. Did you pay cash for it?" And they're naturally gonna say, "Oh, hell no, I'm not going to invest my money into that. No, That means they're making payments. Automatically think in your mind that car is not theirs. The bank is letting them use it. The bank don't want that depreciating object with interest. They could care less about that crap. Cars, all that crap. That's crap. That's depreciating stuff. That's it. It's nothing more than that. I don't care how shiny it is. I don't care how big it is. If it's the brand new 18, 19 Cadillac Escalade loaded with it doesn't matter. It's depreciating object with interest. Always remember that. Finance companies are installing. Oh my God, are you serious? You know what, Sean? I guarantee you, the people that are installing GPS devices in cars, those are the businesses with high financing people that are high risk. I guarantee it. They're installing people with high risk. Guaranteed. Now, somebody walking in with good credit, they're not installing a GPS in their car. There's no way they're doing that. But a high risk person, oh yeah, you better believe it. Because you know why? They know, this is the reason why they know they're going to install a GPS. If you walk in on a car lot, first of all, financing a car again is the worst thing in the world to do. But if you walk on a car lot and accept your percentage rate to be in the teens or the 20s, and you sign on the dollar line and accept that person, that bank, that car lot, exactly. Subprime lenders, exactly. If you accept a car payment and your percentage rate is in the 20s and you don't even care, nor do you even look, you're high risk. They already know that. As soon as you sign on the dotted line, this person doesn't know. Because I would never do that. Anybody that manages money well wouldn't even accept that. That's financial insanity. That's financial suicide. But if you want that thing, a depreciating object with interest. Depreciating object with interest. If you sign on the dotted line and drive away, you better believe a GPS is in there because you're not going to have that long. The lender understands that. You're the only person that do not understand that. And that's okay. That's not their fault. It's business. It's business. Just talking to a friend about subprime lending, right, on mortgages. Show me the percentage rates on that stuff. That's suicide. You're never going to own that home, ever. But yet, those same people are walking around calling themselves homeowners. They have no clue. I have no idea how the bank does that. That's bank money magic. I want to get into banking. I'm not knocking banks, okay? Just make sure you guys understand. I am not knocking the bank because you don't have to use their money. You don't even have to use it. You can walk away, okay? They're in the business of making money, period. But this is how you point out people that are financially blind. They say certain things out loud that they don't know they're saying out loud. Like the other day, I was in a restaurant or something, and there was somebody in the restaurant complaining about overdraft fees. All these overdraft fees are killing me. The bank is bad. They're charging me so much. Did you know they're charging interest on overdraft fees? Something that you don't even have to get in the first place, and they're making interest on that. That's money. Let me tell you what that means. That's money stacked on money. That's stacked on money that didn't even start with your money. That's money. Okay? Overdraft fees you don't have to get. All you got to do is pay attention to your money. You don't even have to get that. I remember this one, and she's saying this. She was saying this out loud, complaining about it. But I'm just looking at her. But I'm not looking at her crazy or anything, right? I'm just looking at her. I'm thinking in my mind, you're saying that out loud in public. You have no idea who's around you that understands money. And she was like, and she was doing two things. She was complaining about overdraft fees and bill collectors calling their phone. Oh, I ain't answering that. That's a bill. What? You're saying that out loud? But that's common to most people. I don't have bill collectors calling. You know why? Because I owe nobody a dime on earth. I don't owe nobody. Student loan people, they don't own me. If you have a student loan, you're a slave. I don't care if you know it or not. Whatever. If you don't think you're a slave, you are. You're going to be another person complaining about trillions of dollars in student loan debt, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to be part of that nonsense. You know what you could do? Stop paying attention to society. Stop caring about what they think. Stop caring about the car you drive to impress people you don't know. Stop thinking about the latest phone you got to have in your hand. All those people are in debt. If you're financing a cell phone, you're in debt. If you stop thinking about that and concentrate on paying off that student loan, you will be free as a bird. You hear about that student loan nonsense, you can sit back in your chair and think, that ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm telling you, I kid you not. It's like when, for example, if you guys follow me on here, you'll see my memes, right? And you'll see certain people say, "Oh, that's stupid, that's bull crap," or what, you know. It's just it, and you can't really. I don't really take it personally because it's just math. You know, I'm not trying to prove anything. Math will always prove me right. It's just math, right? They'll say, "Oh, I know how the FICO score is calculated and all." Who cares? I could care less how it's calculated. You know why? Because it has nothing to do with me. I don't care about how it's calculated. Oh, a certain percentage of this means that. Who cares? Think about it this way. And the credit system is designed to keep you confused and in debt. It makes no sense. It makes sense to me that now that I'm not part of it, right? You got three credit bureaus with 3 different scores and only one of you. How is that even mathematically possible? Does that make any sense to you? How could you're only one person? If you shopped at a store and charged something, how come it doesn't go across all 3? They're not connected. What? Well, why? Maybe it might be on one and one's on the other, and doesn't. And then when you go to try to remove stuff, you got to talk to each one of them. But then it doesn't make any sense. You know why? Because it's designed that way. It's complete nonsense. Doesn't make any sense. They make it sound like it's a big secret. Oh, I know how it's calculated. Who cares? So what? I don't care how it's calculated because I'm not part of it. Credit is a belief. It only means something to people that believe in it. When you have cash, you could care less. Now I'm going to give you a different example so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm meaning. Okay? If you were in a store and you grabbed a candy bar, and when you got up to the counter and the person at the counter said, "Hey, would you like to fill out a credit app to buy this candy bar? You'll get 10% off." Would you do it? Would you do it? You'd be like, "Hell no, I ain't got time for all that. Here's the $1 or whatever it costs," right? Now imagine if you got money, okay, to where a house or a car feels like a candy bar. It's the same thing. It counts on your money that you're worth. You will fully understand that a car, get to a point to where a car is like $300 to you, $3,000. It counts on how much money you have, right? You're not going to take the time to fill out all that stupid paperwork. You're going to be in and out in an hour because there's, state and legal paperwork you got to do. But anything over that, no. No, I walk on a car lot, which I never do. I'm just saying if I did. Walk on a car lot, I'll walk in and say, "I better be in and out of here in an hour or I'm leaving with my money." You better believe they're going to get it done. While the other people are sitting up there with the kids crying, running around at the playpen, and they've been there all day trying to get this depreciating object with interest. I answer personal finance questions. In order to achieve what I've achieved, first you must understand how rare it is. Okay. Second, you cannot care. You cannot care what other people think. You cannot be ashamed of asking a question about your money. I don't care what anybody says. You got to, if you say, if you're stuck in a phone lease or something, right? And you think there's no way out. And then you ask people around and they start saying, oh, yeah, that's just the way it is. No, it's not. No, it's not. You're asking the wrong person. Everybody doesn't finance phones. Everybody doesn't finance cars. Everybody doesn't finance houses. You don't have to be rich to do that either. You don't have to be rich. That's a myth. That's a feeling. That's not true. You don't need credit to buy a house. You don't need credit to buy a car. You don't need credit to buy a phone. You don't need it. Don't be ashamed to ask the questions. And it all starts with your credit report. Step number 1, find out how much debt you're in. Debt causes fear. Debt causes you not to want to look. It's Freddy Krueger in a mask. It's fake. It's not real. It's a movie. It's a movie. It's not real. Face the debt. Don't be like everybody else, not having a clue of how much debt they're in. Do this for yourself. I'm gonna tell you what to do. This is free. Go on all 3 of your credit reports. Make sure it matches. Take the time to match. I do it for you. This is what I do for my clients that don't really understand how to do that. Get the exact number. That's all. Just know the exact number of debt. Not even saying that you got to do anything about it right now, but just know that number. And then what I want you to do is ask 10, 20, 30 of your friends. Say, hey, man, do you know how much debt you're in? The exact number. See how many people tell you yes. See how many people tell you I don't know. See how many people say that I don't care. Okay, just do that. That's it. Just do that. Take the time. Take an hour. It only takes about an hour. Do that. And see how many people will tell you they know the exact number, like you know. Because when you ask, you now know the exact number. That's step 1. Facing the big, bad, scary monster. It's close to Halloween. You might as well, hey, take that mask off. Rip it off. Face that big, scary. It's not that scary. It's just, it's a little upsetting, but that's step 1. If you have any questions, anything regarding personal finances, ask me. Comment. I guarantee you I will have the answer for you. I don't care who you are. Especially people that make money. Let me talk to you real quick before I say this. Especially the people that make money and still living paycheck to paycheck, I can help you the most. You know why? Because you have the biggest shovel to get out fast. You have the biggest shovel to get out fast. Real fast. But guess what? It's going to take sacrifice. It's not going to be quick. Counts on what you have. But if you're willing to sacrifice, it may be quick and maybe not. It counts on what you finance and what you can sell. If you're not upside down, blockety, blah, blah, blah. But once you get out, it's only temporary. Say like you had to sacrifice for 3 or 4 or 5 years. And then you're going to have the rest of your life to do whatever you want. I do anything I want now. Anything. I quit my 6-figure job. You know why? Because it was taking up too much of my time. They were robbing my time. And I was letting it. Why? Because I was in debt. I signed up for 40 hours a week. I was clearly working over that. Clearly, because I was salary. They were taking full advantage of me. Again, not knocking them. It's business. Once I became debt free, I could see it clearly. I was like, no, you can't call me anytime you want. No. Once I leave work, I left work. This time is mine. You don't get to call me anytime you want. No. But you know what? We don't say anything. Why? Because I needed that job. I needed it. I needed to keep up the facade I was living with my finance Lexus, my fancy high-rise apartment, my credit cards, blah, blah, blah. It's all a facade. It's not even real. I was a slave. And I was putting myself in my own chains. It was me. You get on this side of people. Life is lovely. Life ain't even expensive. It's not. It's not that expensive as you may believe. Right now, you think it's inflation and this and that, and the car prices are going up. This, no, it's not. Only for people that finance shit. That's it. When you have cash, I go to like my next car. I'll pick out my next car, go in the paper, and see who's selling it. 9 times out of 10, they have to sell it, and then I'll come with half the money in cash. Yeah, exactly, Sean. No more working days off. No more. You know, when the last job I had, you know what's so funny? They paid me my last job. Now, again, I'm gonna tell you something that sounds like a lot, but it's really not. Okay, and it's not bragging. I remember my last job. They paid me $160,000 a year. Okay, I'm a computer engineer. All right. Now I know you're like, God damn, that's a lot of money, right? Not when you include the IRS. As a single person? No, it's not. No, it's not. But anyway, my point is this. When I got hired there, you know what one of the first emails I got? My boss emailed me and said, hey, you cannot ask for any overtime hours for the first 3 months that you're hired here. You know what I emailed him back? I said, I don't want it. Give it to somebody else that needs it. I only want to be here the minimum I have to be. I didn't say that part, but I told him I didn't want it. Keep it. Give it to somebody that needs it. I don't want it. My time is mine. Nobody owns me. Not the government, not Sally Mae, not a job, no, if I don't like the job, I leave. And I don't leave abruptly. I put in my 2 weeks. They asked me, hey, you leaving? The last job when I told them I left because it was a long drive and all this other stuff, right? And I said, you know, I hate to do this to you guys, but I got to go. They said, why? I said, this drive and these hours and, you know, it's nothing personal. The business was good, blah, blah, blah. They said, what are you going to do? I said, nothing. I'm going to start my own thing. I'm going to help people feel this freedom that I feel today. I want them... Because I know when people hear me talk and I say credit ain't nothing, credit's more than just a feeling. I know I sound crazy, but all you got to do is say, I know this dude sound crazy, but does the math add up? The math adds up. Math ain't crazy. Unless you don't believe your own math. If you don't trust your own math, okay, I guess it won't. But if you trust math, you'll say it makes total sense. And then when you get on this side, it'll be clear as day how the economy truly works. It's beautiful. It's like a well-oiled machine. I respect it. I understand it. And when you hear people talk, you're going to have to keep your mouth shut. Once you become debt-free, you're going to have to keep your mouth shut. That's why I come on this forum, this social media forum, so I can just talk about whatever I want. You come over here, hey, you want to hear. If you don't, okay, see you later. All right, you guys have a wonderful day. I'm out. I hope this reaches some people. If it does, great. If you catch it later, leave a comment, ask any type of questions. I'm going to start doing these once a week. And you guys have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.